11 laps to go in segment 2 of the NEXTEL All-Star Challenge. And mounting a charge is Elliott Sadler once again. This time he waits to the exit of turn 2 to pull alongside Brian Vickers.
Should have the better line right here in 3 and 4. Once he got alongside it down the back straightaway, that Yates horsepower kicked in, and he was able to make the pass.
As these guys been going to add, drawing closer and closer to the rear bumper of Brian Vickers now in the 25.
Well, I think what happened was that Elliott and Brian were up there racing each other, and that allowed Mark to catch up a little bit. Well, they were going at it pretty hard there. The 38 to 25 were for several laps. As you can see now, Elliott just drives off and leaves Brian Vickers.
Now the final 10-lap segment or 20-lap segment will restart straight up. That is the order in which you take the caution flag is the order that you restart. If you choose to pit, you will restart behind the cars that did not pit in the order in which you leave pit road. So do you give up your spot to get tires or don't you?
Well, I think you mentioned it in break. Don't forget about the 12 car at Darlington a couple of weeks ago. I doubt if he'll stay out tonight.
And I think the problem, A, is 20 laps. And we're already seeing, we just completed 21 laps in this second segment, and we've seen 3/4 of a second give up. And right now we only have 14 cars out there. Carl Edwards in the 99 just joined the other cars by taking this car to the garage area. He's done for the night.
So the worst you can restart for the 20-lap finale is row 7.
And I think Elliott Sadler, quite honestly, he's got a fast car. He's licking his chops right now, because he's got Ryan's going to have to start on the inside. Elliott's going to get the start up on that preferred line outside. I know we keep talking about that, but that's going to be huge in that final segment.
Well, part of the key to doing that is you got to have a good pit stop.
Well,
it's going to be without mistakes.
That's true.
You know, I'm thinking way ahead here, but if Newman pits, can they watch the traffic coming out of the pits to get him out second?
Well, that would be dicey right there.
Yeah, but boy, would that be good.
Boy, what if it didn't work?
Well, okay.
See, racers are real bad to do exactly what you did. Yeah. Best case scenario.
Right.
But you need to figure a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You call it best case or worst case scenario. I'll call out tricking yourself.
Yeah, that's right. You beat yourself, and you can't afford to do that tonight for $1 million. You got a car as fast as Ryan Newman's is, you just play it straight up.
Okay. Newman has a 1.5-second lead on Elliott Sadler. There is the gap. And it's another 1.5 seconds back to Brian Vickers now, the best of the Hendrick Chevrolets.
And just a little more, I mean, if it's me, I'm going to tell my driver, or if it's Ryan Newman and he's on the stop there, hey, buddy, you better get the best restart you've ever got.
But in turn, Ryan Newman's going to tell that pit crew, you better have the best pit stop you've ever had.
Well, now, who won the pit crew race last night?
Ryan Newman's group had a pretty fast pit stop on pit road. There'll be 4 to go this time in this segment. But no mistakes. These drivers, they cannot speed. I know it'll be under caution conditions, but you can't speed on pit road. You can't have any loose lug nuts. Any mistake like that, you might as well join Carl Edwards and the rest of them.
You wrecked, you just didn't hit anything.
Now the purse goes all the way back through the starting field for this race, but after about the first 3 positions, it drops pretty quickly.
It's $1 million roughly for first, 300 for second, 215 for third, 90, 86, 82, and then everybody else gets 70.
And as far as notoriety and bragging right, it drops significantly after first.
All right, now we talked about at the top of the show and last night qualifying, nobody ever remembers who finishes second.
Bet that man leading right now remembers last year.
In the first All-Star race, which Darrell Waltrip won, you remember who finished second? Oh, come on. Who always finishes second?
Harry Gant.
Harry Gant, of course.
There's one person that remembers who finished second, and that was me. I remember who I passed.
But Ryan Newman did finish second last year in this All-Star race, so he'd like to better his position by 1. 2 to go right now in this second segment.
I tell you what, Brian Vickers and Elliott Sadler and Ryan Newman are all pretty much equal on the clock.
We've been doing NASCAR on Fox now for 5 years, folks, and if you haven't caught on yet, if the question involves second place, the answer's Harry Gant.
Most of the time. Or if it's a record in the Busch Grand National Series, it's Mark Martin.
we will complete lap 70 or lap 30 of this second segment the next time that
Oh, we got a car slow over here off it too, y'all. I think it's,
look, it's Greg Biffle, a 16
Biffle.
car.
Looks like a tire problem, possibly right front.
Well, now the pits are closed. Pit road is not open during this portion of this segment.
Well, I don't think it would. I don't think it would do him any good.
Nope.
He's down on the apron. He has all types of
see the right.
I blew the tire off it.
Caution is out for Greg Biffle.
That should be the end of the segment.
Okay,
I think.
caution is out for the end of the segment. You're right. Biffle's problems are incidental to the caution.
He has torn the entire right front fender off of it, so a lot of problems there on that 16 car. He's actually going to take it to the garage area.
My old wheel man is hard on that right front tire because he's turning hard left all the time in the gas.
So now it's the time to answer the big question. Do you stay or do you go and get 4 new tires?
I just think with 13 cars out there, not 22 like we started, I just do not see. With 20 laps to go, if it was 10 maybe,
yeah.
but with 20 laps to go, I think you have to have 4 tires.
In the old days, 10 laps might be able to do, but you got 20 laps here. That's a long way, but you got to get the skins.
And you might even have more than 20 laps because it's 20 green flag laps. We could be doing green, white, checker till breakfast.
But the question would be, when you look back there, what would Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, Bobby Labonte, Jeremy Mayfield, Dale Earnhardt Jr., what do they have to lose to gamble maybe with just 2 right side tires?
Oh, I'm not wondering about them, but what about Newman, Sadler, and Vickers? I mean, track position's important.
Yeah, but I think if you're back there, your car's not that good.
Probably
and so
right.
I think if you're going to have any shots, you got to come in and get some tires, maybe make some adjustments. I think the boys in the back here, I think the boys back there know that the restart is going to be the key to this whole thing. So maybe you get them racing side by side. They get together going into turn 1, and you make the pass.
Now the caution truck has not yet picked up the field, so the pits will not be open this time by.
That's how Michael won this race in '96. He was running about 3rd, and I forget who the 2 cars in front of him were. They hung together, and he took the lead.
Just in front of Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle cuts down a right front, and they have to split him in turn 2.
Well, Larry, you and I have talked about it. That car, that 16 car, the way it gets down in the racetrack, it looks like it would really be hard on tires.
And of course, you know Greg Biffle is driving that thing as hard as he can every corner of every lap.
Here's Steve.
And Mike, early in this run, Greg Biffle told his crew chief, Doug Richard, that he had made some contact with Elliott Sadler in the 38 and had some fender damage, so that might have contributed to that tire.
Very well could have, Steve.
I don't recall any smoke.
No, I don't remember seeing it.
I don't remember seeing any smoke off any of the cars, so possibly, but more like abuse, I think.
We're not seeing any cars weave back and forth to keep their tires clean, which would indicate possibly they're thinking about staying out, keeping the rubber and things built up on the tires, keeping that off. So
13 cars remain on the racetrack, and pit road will be open this time by. Will anybody dare stay out?
I think Ryan Newman's making it perfectly clear he's coming in. And I think everybody's coming with him.
All 13 cars. Now, will there be 2? Will there be 4? Who's going to win the battle, Steve?
That's the question.
Larry Mack, Brian Vickers off pit road. He said his car was tight, tight, tight. He was afraid of abusing the right front tire. Specialist Lisa Smokestad has already made air pressure adjustments. Dick.
Mark Martin, 4 tires, just a little bit of gas. Car is near perfect, but not quite. They're trying to adjust it with air pressure. To Matt.
2-tire change for Elliott Sadler. Slight chassis adjustment. The chassis adjustment for the 12 of Ryan Newman. He was on the tight side. And Todd Parrott called an audible. That audible was a 2-tire change.
It looked like, Matt, the 2 cars of those 13 that went with right sides only was Elliott Sadler and Jeff Gordon in the 24 car.
And they will restart on the front row, as every one of the 13 cars did make a pit stop, an optional pit stop between segments 2 and 3.
There you see the race off pit road. You can see right there, Elliott Sadler, Jeff Gordon, the fastest pit road time, including the pit stop. The reason they only stopped for 2 right side tires.
But I think Elliott's put himself in a box with 2 tires restarting on the inside. I just think that he's put himself in a box.
Here's the race off. Sadler, then Gordon, and high marks to Mark Martin's crew. They had the shortest time on pit road among those who took 4 tires. And there was the difference between 2 and 4. Todd Parrott with a big gamble. He's got his driver out front. Can he stay there?
That's the $1 million question.
NEXTEL All-Star Challenge at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Time for a Visa race break as we get ready for the last segment. The evening started with the transfer race. Mike Bliss had it in the bag until on the last lap, Ryan Vickers did this and moved up to be part of the All-Stars in segment 1. Mark Truex Jr., the fans voted him in, and he was caught up in this. 9 cars involved, 7 knocked out. It left Joe Nemechek and Kevin Harvick jawing at each other. Tony Stewart caught in that. Ryan Newman winning the most recent segment after Mark Martin won the first segment. And so 13 cars on a full moon night. Jeff Hammond, Dale Earnhardt Jr. caught speeding on pit road. How about Elliott Sadler taking only 2 tires?
Chris, I don't know. I think it looks like it's going to be a smart move to begin with. I think it's going to come back to haunt him before the end of this run. And I really like the 6 cars option right now. I think he's going to be the car to watch.
That would be Mark Martin. This has been a Visa race break. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
Todd Parrott, what did you just tell me about your 2-tire change?
I told you I was about ready to throw up. And, you know, we got a great race car. This race is about gambles and chances. Hopefully, track position is just so key. We saw that earlier today in an open, and hopefully he can get out front. And got a million reasons why we put on 2 tires, and we can do it.
All right, Darrell, who do you like?
I still like Ryan Newman. I think that the guys with 2 tires, if he doesn't get boxed in here behind Jeff Gordon, I like Ryan Newman.
Larry?
Well, I'm with Darrell. I like the position. He's in the outside line. The only thing, like Darrell said, if he does not get boxed in, which look at the restart that Elliott Sadler in 38, Mark Martin in the 6th guy.
Jeff Gordon couldn't go. Jeff Gordon bottled him up, just like what I was afraid of.
I like Mark Martin, and he got a really good restart right behind Elliott Sadler.
With 2 tires, Gordon couldn't go. He spun the tires, and it put Newman in a box, and he had nowhere to go, and that's going to really hurt him.
Sadler, Martin, Gordon. Bush and Newman.
Look at them, though. They're trying to go 3 wide almost through turn 4.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon is just kind of in the way.
But that hurt Ryan Newman because now he's back to 5th position.
Whoa,
there they go. Newman around. And Rusty up in the wall with him.
More coming. Keep it up there if you can. You're clear.
The 2 Penske Racing South Dodge teammates pound the wall in turn 2. Caution is out.
And remember, these caution laps do not count in these final 20 laps. It's all green flag laps.
Well, that all started from the restart. When the 24 car couldn't go, held Newman and that outside line up, it opened the door for the inside line to make their move, and they did. And Ryan and Rusty, they've been running pretty close together all night. They ended up real close together.
Let's see what got Newman sideways down in turn 1. Watch the 12.
I think the 24 surprise. He goes in really, really hard. And he knows he's got to get him cleared right here because he doesn't want to get stuck on the bottom. He just gets a little loose right there getting in. She wobbles, goes up the hill. Unfortunately for Jeff Gordon, he didn't get into him, but he did get into his teammate.
It looked like he actually had those left side wheels almost below, or at least right on that bottom line.
Well, I think Jeff really, really put the pressure on him right there, getting down into turn 1, because he didn't want to give up that outside line.
I don't know. He may actually been a little bit above it. He just got loose there.
He just got a little sucked. That happens so often right there.
And Rusty became the innocent victim as once again Dale Jarrett.
Being here, but come down, come down, come down, come on down, come on down, all the way down. Okay, go back up there.
One thing we know about Dale Jarrett, he got a good spotter.
Bob Jeffrey. Yep. He has earned his money tonight.
He has.
Oh, go low, go low, go low. Good shape. We're okay, Pete.
If it was any lower, he'd be in the grass.
now Mark Martin gets to start on the outside on the restart.
Newman is not, well, he is pitting. He's coming to pit road along with Wallace and Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr., and Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon's had enough of those 2 tires.
That was not a good idea.
That was 1 lap too many.
You think this is over? We're just getting started. 9 green flag laps to go.